time the body says that's enough, I've learned not to trust that bluff, because there is more below that wall, more in the chest, more through it all. There is more in the breath you keep, there is more in the legs that shake, there is more in the mind that stays when the easy route begins to wave. This is the kind of track I need, not a spark that burns to breathe, but a deeper engine under stress that keeps on feeding one more rev, that tells the listener stay in line. You are not done, this edge is fine. There is more than the first hard floor, there is always something more. No weekend and no closed door, I built this state to find what's more. When the beat gets dark and the lungs feel sore, I hear one thing: there is more. There is more deep inside, that is how the strong survive. There is more past the wall, there is force beneath it all. There is more, do not quit, that is where I lock back in. There is more, stay on floor, keep on moving. There is more. A lot of people stop too soon, they think the limit is the truth, but I have felt what happens then when you stay once more and breathe again. A second wind, a hidden gear, a steadier force that appears only when the pressure stays and you refuse the easy phrase. That is what progress really is, not just a mood and not just bliss, but finding more in the grind itself and building more from what was left. This song should feel like that exact rise, like something opening inside, like every bar and every snare says there is more still hidden there. No weak fold and no dead flow, I know exactly what I'm here for. When the body burns and the drums hit raw, I hear one thing: there is more. There is more deep inside, that is how the strong survive. There is more past the wall, there is force beneath it all. There is more, do not quit, that is where I lock back in. There is more, stay on floor, keep on moving. There is more. One more breath, one more round, one more step, hold your ground. Still more fire, still more core, still more life, still more. Do not fade, do not bend, this is not where things end. That force, that roar says one thing: there is more. There is more deep inside, that is how the strong survive. There is more past the wall, there is force beneath it all. There is more, do not quit, that is where I lock back in. There is more, stay on floor, keep on moving. There is more. There is more. Do not quit. Do not quit. Untouchable form. Yeah. Untouchable form. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not talking ego talk, I'm talking earn confidence in the walk. The kind of strength you cannot fake, that kind of calm pressure cannot take. Untouchable form in the way I stand, in the jaw, the chest, the open hands. Not because life gave me ease, but because I built through what breaks these. This track should feel like that exact thing, like inner command under everything. Like every kick says hold that frame, and every hook says know your name. I want that vibe where the listener feels more alive and more fully real, like they step up different from before once they hear untouchable form. No weak mask and no soft eyes, I built this stay without disguise. When the room gets loud and the bass runs warm, I move inside untouchable form. Stand up straight, pressure turn me into weight. Untouchable form, no retreat, power moving through the feet. Untouchable a roll, but never built the inner hole. Yeah, never trained the mind to stay when things stop going the easy way. But confidence is not the trick, it's built through every time you stick to the harder road and strict the code till it shows in how you hold your load. That is the kind of power I want, not loud fluff and not a front, but something deeper, more exact, that keeps a man from shrinking back, that makes him move with clearer force and stay aligned with his own course. That kind of feeling this beat should form, like life itself says, untouchable form. No weak shell and no false charm. I built this state through stress and harm. When the chorus hits and the room feels warm, I step into untouchable form. Stand up straight, pressure turn me into weight. Untouchable form, no retreat, power moving through the feet. Untouchable form, on that lane, built through hunger, built through strength. Untouchable form, no disguise, you can see it in my eyes. No stare, high breath, no fear, no stress. Stay calm, stand high, do not shrink side. That wall, that tone, that grip, that bone was built by storms. Untouchable. Untouchable form, no disguise, no disguise. Level up and level up on the low. Yeah. Nothing changes if the weight stays light. Nothing grows if you always step right. You level up when the pressure lands, and still you move with steady hands. Level up under load, that's law. That's law. Not fearing, not a random draw. You earn new ground by what you hold. When the bar gets heavy and the room gets cold, this track should feel like rising output, like more result from the same tough route. Like every line says, keep that pace, keep that order, keep that face. Because performance is not loud, it doesn't need a cheering crowd. It's what remains when the test gets real, and you still move clean under steel. No weak frame and no soft mode. I came to level up under load. When the snare cracks sharp and the bass drops low, I know exactly how I grow. Level up under low, push that line, turn that pressure into grind. Level up under low, stay exact, that is how I build impact. Level up under low, stand and rise, you can see it in the eye. Level up under low, do not fold, that is how I earn my role. A lot of men want more command, but never stay when the pressure lands. Never train when they feel no spark, never move when the room feels dark. But I know exactly where growth lives, in the harder reps no one gives. Back to you without a cost. You pay in sweat or you get lost. That is why this melody matters. It should not float, it should hit harder. It should feel like training itself, not a soundtrack left on the shelf. It should push a man to own his lane, to choose the heart over comfort again, to feel the body and mind reload, and level up under load. No drift off and no explode, just tighter form under heavier load. When the pulse gets strong and the lungs go wide, I feel myself level up inside. Level up under low, push that line, turn that pressure into grind. Level up under low, stay exact, that is how I build impact. Level up under low, stand and rise, you can see it in the eye. Level up under low, do not fold, that is how I earn my role. More weight, more calm, more force, more form. One step, one rep, one shift, respect, no weak return, just growth. You earn that road, that code. Level up under low. Level up under low. Made the lead. 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 I got that walk that comes from years of carrying weight and swallowing fears. Not for show and not for style, but from walking the harsher miles. Made the lead is not a flex. It is what remains when pressure checks. What in you is built to stay when comfort tries to pull away. This track should sound like street command, like force controlled in both feet and hands, like confidence with actual roots, not shallow shine in borrowed suits, like someone who earned their place through effort written on the face. That kind of sound that makes men feel they need to move more hard, more real. No fake crown and no cheap speed. I built this state to rise and lead. When the bass line rolls and the hook cuts deep, I feel that whole room move with me. Made to lead, stand in place, pressure living in the face. Made to lead, no retreat, power running through the feet. Made to lead, on that lane, built through hunger, built through strain. Made to lead, no disguise. You can see it in my eyes. A lot of people talk like kings before the second pressure stings. That is because their roots are weak. They structure breaks before they speak. Mine came from reps and harsher years, from carrying weight and cutting fear, from choosing work over excuses till the body said this is who this is. I want that energy in this song. Not pretty hype that doesn't last long, but something harder, more exact, that builds a spine and a straighter back, that makes a listener feel more tall, more focused, more in charge of all. That kind of force that doesn't hide, but walks in like it's made to lead. No repose and no fake greed. I know exactly what I need. When the room gets hard and the drums get mean, I hear one thing: I'm made to lead. Made to lead, stand in place, pressure living in the face. Made to lead, no retreat, power running through the feet. Made to lead, on that lane, built through hunger, built through strain. Made to lead, no disguise. You can see it in my eyes. Stand tall, no drift, move hard, still lift. One stare, one lane, one code, one flame. That walk, that grip, that frame, that hit was made to lead. Now wait, too late. Stand in place, pressure living in the face. Made to lead, no retreat, power running through the feet. Made to lead, on that lane, built through hunger, built through strain. Made to lead, no disguise. You can see it in my eyes. Made to lead, 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 made to lead. No disguise, no disguise. Yeah. The cold hole. The cold holes. Yeah. The cold holes. Yeah, when the mood goes low, the code still holds. When the spark feels gone, the code still holds. That is the thing that built this frame. Not random fire, not some flame that comes and goes with the day outside, but something stricter I keep inside. A law that says get up and move, even when you feel no proof. Yeah, the code holds in the way I train, in the way I eat, in the way I aim, in the way I choose the harder line again and again till strength is mine. This song should feel like discipline, not flashy shine, but force within. A steadier beat, a serious flow, something built to carry low. No weak drifting, no split road. I came in here to hold control. When the hook comes in and the drums hit cold, I hear one thing: the code holds. The code holds. Day by day, that is how I build my way. The code holds. Through the strain, that is how I grow through pain. lot of men break under mood, under weather, under attitude, under all the things they feel, instead of building something real. But I learned if you want more force, you need a deeper inner source. Not one that fades when life gets rough, but one that keeps saying still enough. Still enough to train, still enough to rise, still enough to lock the eyes, still enough to go one more. When the lungs get tight and the body sore, that is the message in this beat. Stay exact on tired feet, stay aligned with what you chose, and let the whole world know the code holds. No soft lane and no quick excuse. I built this state from daily use. When the pressure climbs and the room goes cold, I hear one thing: the code holds. The code holds. Day by day, that is how I build my way. The code holds. Through the strain, that is how I grow through pain. The code holds. No disguise, you can see it in my eyes. The code holds. Stay on road, that is how I carry low. Wake up, move first, no drift, do work, stay sharp, stand tall, code holds through all. No split, no lie, no weak, why try to run from goal, just stay in hold. I do not need a scream to prove. I let the pressure shape the move. I let the silence sharpen stance. I let the dark refine command. Cold power is not weak and still. It is fire under iron will. It is what grows when the nights get long, and you still learn to move through strong. I built this edge in darker rooms when no one cared and no one knew what it took to hold that line, to build this state and call it mine. Every set at night cut deep, every loaded breath I keep, every chorus in this track should feel like something shadow made and real. No bright fake and no soft eyes. I found my force in darker skies. When the bass drops low and the room feels still, I feel that cold power feel. Cold power, hard and slow. That is how the strong ones grow. Cold power, no disguise. Dark fire in the eyes. Cold power, on that floor. Built for more and more and more. Upright, that is how I rule the night. A lot of men fear, silent wait, need loud noise to validate. Need approval, need a crowd, need to make their weakness loud. I learned another kind of strength, the kind that widens under stress, the kind that needs no witness near, because the proof is already here. The song should sound like harder breath, like discipline and darker depth, like one more push beneath the skin when all the comfort falls away, like something ancient, lean and trained, not random hype and not untamed. That kind of force that does not bend and keeps on building to the end. No weak road and no light game. I built this power without fame. When the sound gets black and the pressure's right, I know I own the night. Hard and slow, that is how the strong ones grow. Cold power, no disguise. Dark fire in the eyes. Cold power, on that floor. Built for more and more and more. Stand upright, that is how I slow. That is how the strong ones grow. Cold power, no disguise. Dark fire in the eyes. Cold power, own that floor. Built for more and more and more. Cold power, stand upright. That is how I rule the night. Cold power, rule the night. Rule the night. Turn it high. Yeah. Turn it higher. Turn it higher. Turn it higher. The second that the beat comes in, I feel the whole room pull me in. Like blood turns hot and breath turns sharp, and something wakes inside the heart. Turn it higher, that's the state where body, will, and rhythm sync, where every movement hits more clean, and every doubt gets split between. But this is not chaos, this is charge, directed force when the stakes get large. This is what a hard track should do, with the driving cut right through. Make me wanna move with speed, make me wanna push and lead, make me feel that edge in veins, and turn that effort into gains. No weak slow and no downshift. I came to feel that higher lift. When the bass line hits and the snare gets fire, I hear one thing: turn it higher, turn it higher. Raise that flame, put that pressure in my name. Turn it higher, no retreat, fire running through my feet. Turn it higher, push that pace, I can feel it in my face. Turn it higher, do not tire. Take this whole thing higher. A lot of tracks just make some noise, but never sharpen what they touch. This one should act like fuel and blood, like motion rising from the mud, like all that energy compressed and fired directly through the chest, like every kick says, but one more round, and every hook says, hold your ground. I want that feeling during work, where every second still has worth, where the body almost wants to quit, but the sound won't let me leave it. That is what this anthem needs. Just volume, but we'll feed for the hunger, for the climb, for the man I build in time. No weak lane and no cool down. I came to own this level now. When the blood runs loud and the room feels wired, I hear one thing: turn it higher, turn it higher. Raise that flame, put that pressure in my name. Turn it higher, no retreat, fire running through my feet. Turn it higher, push that pace, I can feel it in my face. Turn it higher, do not tire. Take this whole thing higher. Faster, harder, still there. Go farther, no break, no drift. Just rise and lift. That sound, that fire, that push takes higher. That pulse, that wire. Turn it higher. Turn it higher. Raise that flame, put that pressure in my name. Turn it higher, no retreat, fire running through my feet. Turn it higher, push that pace, I can feel it in my face. Turn it higher, do not tire. Take this whole thing higher. Turn it higher, no retreat, no retreat. Barway truth. Barway truth. Barway truth. Barway truth. There is no lie on the load of steel. it's real. No fake face and no cheap pose, just what survives when the pressure grows. All weight truth in the hands of spine, in the breath, in the stare, in the line. Every plate says prove that claim will get exposed in front of the flame. I learn my worth through harder reps, through the loaded bars and the failing sets, through the point where the chest goes tight and the weak part asks for a softer night. But I stayed there and I learned that code, how to carry a heavier load, how to rise from that brutal line and call that pressure friend of mine. No weak prayer and no escape, I let that iron shape this frame. When the beat goes hard and the floor feels dark, I hear that truth inside the bar. Barway truth, build my name, build my back through load and flame. Barway truth, no disguise, you can read it in my barway truth. Stand and lift, that is where the strong ones shift. Barway truth, own that pain, that is how I grow through strength. A lot of men want the final form, but never live in the heaviest storm. Never hold where the body bends, never test what the pressure sends. But every time I stayed one more, I found more than I had before. Not just strength, but clearer sight. Not just muscle, but in a bite. This music should hit like steel, hard, direct, and fully real. No softness in the way it lands. It should sound like loaded hands. It should feel like a second skin for that war that lives within. And every chorus should cut like proof that I was built by truth. No slow fade and no weak breath. I came to grow through pain and stress. When the room gets still and the blood runs hot, I know exactly what I got. Barway truth, build my name, build my back through load and flame. Barway truth, no disguise, you can read it in my barway truth. Stand and lift, that is where the strong ones shift. Barway truth, own that pain, that is how I grow through strength. Grip hard, lock jaw, stay up, not now. One more, push through, let that weight cut through. No drift, no split, all heart, all grit. That truth, that scar lies deep in the bar. Barway truth, build my name, build my back through load and flame. Barway truth, no disguise, you can read it in my barway truth. Stand and lift, that is where the strong ones shift. Barway truth, own that pain, that is how I grow through strength. Barway truth, barway truth, build my name, build my name, build my name. No weekdays. No weekdays. No weekdays. No weekdays. I do not wait till the mood feels right. I move through pressure and use that fight. No weekdays when the goal is clear. No soft habits can live in here. Every morning is part of war with the man I was before. And every set is a statement made that I refuse to slowly fade. This is progress in real time, built through structure, built through grind, built through showing up again when no one claps and no one trends. That is where the strongest grow, not in comfort and not in show, but in the days that feel too hard, and still you step back in the yard. No weak thought and no delay, I came to build the harder way. When the beat stays tight and the lungs heat up, I feel that pressure lift me up. No weekdays, no retreat, fire running through my feet. No weekdays, stay online, body under pressure, focus mind. No weekdays, still I grow, that is all I need to know. No weekdays, stand and stay, that is how I build my way. A lot of people full of the spark, but never stay inside the dark. Never stay when the progress slows. Never trust what the long road grows. I trust that slow and steady pain that turns routine to visible gain, that turns a promise into fall, that turns discomfort into norm. Yeah. This melody should feel like pace, like forward motion in a harder place. Like every kick says keep that frame, like every chorus feeds the flame. Because the truth is simple now. You do not rise by asking how. You rise by doing what you said again and again, till weak is dead. No weak bending, no collapse. I came too far to turn back half. When the pressure builds and the room goes gray, I hear one thing: no weak day, no weekdays, no retreat. Fire running through my feet. No weekdays, stay online. Body under pressure, focus mind. No weekdays, still I grow. That is all I need to know. No weekdays, stand and stay. That is how I build my way. Cool start, still go. Low spark, still grow. No drift, no lie. Stay hard, get by. One more, then more, then more. That cold, that way. No weak days. No weekdays, no retreat. Fire running through my feet. No weekdays, stay online. Body under pressure, focus mind. No weekdays, still I grow. That is all I need to know. No weekdays, stand and stay. That is how I build my way. No weekdays. No weekdays. Still I grow, still I grow. Built to dominate. Built to dominate. Walked in the room with a harder face, like I know exactly why I'm in this place. Not for the crowd and not for the praise. I came to build through harder days. Every rep heavy, every breath loud. I do not need the love of a crowd. I need that line where the pressure lives. That is the place where my body gives. More than muscle, more than size. I want that steel behind the eyes. I want that calm when the weight gets real. That inner force you cannot steal. I earned this edge through stricter nights, through loaded bars and bloodshot lights. Through every time I wanted rest and still chose one more crush and sit. No weak turning, no retreat. I came too far to move too sweet. When the bass hits hard and the lights go black, I feel that power coming back. Built to dominate, built to rise. You can see that in my eyes. Oh, built to dominate, stand up straight. Pressure taught me how to create. Dominate, no disguise. I got fire that never dies. Built to dominate on that lane. I get stronger through the strain. A lot of men want the final look, but never stay with the harder book. Never hold when the body shakes. Never learn what the pressure makes. I learned that truth in a deeper way. One more rep and one more day. One more round when the tank felt dry. One more stand when the lungs ask why. That is why I walk like this, with more command and a tighter grip. With that feeling deep in the chest that I did not fold like the rest. This track should sound like a loaded frame, like got for burning inside the name. Like every drum says stay exact and every hook says don't go back. No weak pause and no fake calm. I built this state inside the storm. When the room gets hard and the blood runs hot, I know I was built to dominate. Built to dominate, built to rise. You can see that in my eyes. Built to dominate, stand up straight. Pressure taught me how to create. Built to dominate, no disguise. I got fire that never dies. Built to dominate on that lane. I get stronger through the strain. One more set, one more breath, one more move through the stress. Stay locked in, hold that weight. That is how I dominate. No weak voice, no slow fade. All that pressure made this blade. All that effort built stronger through the strain. Built to dominate. Built to dominate.